students, Standard 8th. As you know, we started a new chapter number 13, direct and inverse proportion. Now, you have a basic idea of the proportion or the variation. So when we see that two quantities are such that their values increase or decrease according to the increase or decrease to the other variable. Now, in direct proportion, we saw that the ratio of the both quantity is always constant. So when the ratio of the both quantity that we are comparing is equal, then they are having the direct proportion and they are in direct proportion to each other. And if the ratios are different, they are not in direct proportion. We saw some examples also. So let us start the exercise today. Exercise number 13.1. That first question is, following are the parking charges near a railway station. Up to 4 hours, parking charges is rupees 60. 8 hours is the rupees 100. 12 hours rupees 140. And the 24 hours charges are rupees 180. Now we have to check if the charges are in direct proportion to the parking hours, parking time. So now, how can we decide whether they are in direct proportion or not? We know that when their ratio of the different values are equal, then they are having the direct proportion, otherwise not. So here, let X be the parking time and Y be the charges. So now X1 is equal to 4 hours, Y1 is equal to rupees 60. So X1 upon Y1, we got 4 upon 60. So we get the ratio 1 upon 15. Now if you take X2 is equal to 8 hours and Y2 is equal to rupees 100. So X2 upon Y2 is 8 upon 100. 2 fours are 25 fours are. Now we don't need to find out other ratios. Why? The first two ratios are not equal. So we can directly write down now that they are not in direct proportion. So here X1 upon Y1 is not equal to X2 upon Y2. If the other was equal, we have to check for the third and fourth also. But here the first two ratios are not equal. So it is not necessary to go for the third and fourth ratio. Therefore, they are not in direct proportion. So here only we find out the ratios of the first two given values. If they were equal, we should have to find out the third and the fourth ratio, and if they are equal, we will do that thing. Now the second question, a mixture of paint is prepared by mixing, is prepared by mixing 1 part of red pigments, 1 part of red pigments to the with 8 parts of base, with 8 parts of base. In the following table, find the parts, find the parts of base that need to be added. So here in the table, parts of red pigments and parts of base. So 1 red pigments to the base 8, and we have to find for the 4, for the 7, for the 12 and for 20. So here we can see that 1 part of the red pigment with the 8 part of the base, it means that they will have direct proportion. So here the two quantities has or quantities are in direct proportion. In direct proportion. So now let X be the part of red pigments and Y be the part of base. So now x1 upon y1 is equal to 1 upon 8. So now x2 is equal to 4. They are in direct proportion. Therefore, you can use x1 upon y1 is equal to x2 upon y2. So 1 upon 8 is equal to 4 upon y2. So if you do the cross multiplication, y2 is equal to 8 multiplied by 4. So we get y2 is equal to 32. So here you can put the value 32 here. Similarly, x1 upon y1 is equal to x3 upon y3. We can write down here x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. Here y1, y2, y3, y4 and y5. So now 1 upon 8 is equal to What is x3 now? 7 upon y3. By doing cross multiplication, we get y3 is equal to 8 multiplied by 7. So y3 is equal to 56. Similarly, we can take x1 upon y1 is equal to x4 upon y4. So 1 upon 8. So here you can write down 56. 1 upon 8 is equal to 12 upon y4. So by cross multiplication, y4 is equal to 12 8s are 96. So here we can write down 96. And the last, x1 upon y1 is equal to x5 upon y5. We know now it is easier. So 1 upon 8 is equal to 20 upon y5. So y5 is equal to 8 multiplied by 20. So y5 is equal to 160. So here 160 parts are taken. So by this situation you can see that one red pigment is added to 8 base. It means that they have a direct proportion. As you have more base, then you have to add according to that red pigments. So 8 parts of base, 1 red pigment, so 2 parts will be 16 and so on. So that is by using the x1 upon y1 is equal to x2 upon y2 is equal to x3 upon y3, we can find the answers like that. The third question. It says that in question 2 above that we did now, if one part of red pigments require 75 milliliter of base, then how much red pigments should we mix with 1800 milliliter of base? So now we know that x1 upon y1 is 1 upon 8, that was in the given situation, is equal to x2 upon y2. So now we will take x as a part. So how many parts? 1 part. And y1, for 1 part how many base required? 75 milliliter. So we have to find x2 and the y2 is equal to, we have to given 1800 milliliter. So 1 upon 75 is equal to x2 upon 1800. So doing the cross multiplication, 75 multiplied by x2 is equal to 1800 multiplied by 1. It's not necessary to write down multiplied by 1. So x2 is equal to 1800 upon 75. Now you can do the division. 75 to the 150. 75 4s are 300. So answer is 24. Therefore, 24 parts of red pigments we have to mix. So now we know the relation of the direct proportion. We can easily find out the required answer. Let's do question number 4. A machine in a soft drink factory, prepares or fills 840 bottles, fills 840 bottles in how many hours? in 6 hours. In 6 hours. How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? So now here we can make a table here. Number of bottles and time taken. It is given that it fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. And how many bottles means X will it in 5 hours? So 5 hours is given. So now 840, you can see that the two quantities are in direct proportion. Because to fill more bottles, it requires more time. To fill less bottles, it requires less times. So it is in direct proportion. So we can write down 840 upon 6 equals x upon 5. So doing the cross multiplication, 6 multiplied by x, 840 multiplied by 5. So x is equal to 840 multiplied by 5 divided by 6. Now 3 2s are 6, 420. Now you can divide 420 by 3. You can easily divide it. 3 1s are 3. 3 4s are 12. So 140. So 140 multiplied by 5. So 700. So therefore, in 5 hours, it will fill 700 bottles. So it is very simple, as we see that they have a relation of direct proportion. Here we are going to finish the session. Will be followed by PDF, and if any confusion, write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.